Let me tell you something. Some of the greatest warriors in history fought their toughest battles alone. They stood in the face of impossible odds with no one to lean on, no safety net beneath them, and no guiding hand to pull them through. And yet, they rose. They endured. They conquered. The weight of solitude is a crushing force. It's the silence in the room after everyone else has left. It's the empty seat at the table, the unanswered call, the feeling that you are carrying the world on your shoulders with no one to share the burden. It's waking up every morning with the knowledge that if you fail, no one is going to catch you. That is a brutal truth. No one is coming to save you. But here's what they don't tell you. That very weight, that crushing loneliness, is also your greatest weapon. Because when you learn to stand alone, you become unstoppable. When you stop waiting for someone else to come and fix your life, you start realizing that you have the power to do it yourself. And that is where real strength begins. Society loves to paint loneliness as a weakness. They make you believe that being alone means you are unwanted, unworthy, or incapable. But think about this, some of the most powerful figures in history, the greatest minds, the strongest leaders, and the most legendary warriors all face solitude at some point in their journey. Why? Because solitude breeds strength. Solitude forces growth. Solitude is where transformation happens. You see, there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. Loneliness is a mindset. It's believing that your value comes from the presence of others. But being alone, that's a choice. That's an opportunity. That's where you discover who you really are when no one is watching. It's easy to rely on others for motivation, for validation, for direction, but what happens when they're gone? What happens when no one is cheering for you? What happens when there's no one to pat you on the back or push you forward? That's the moment where you either break or you rise. And let me tell you something, if you can master the art of standing alone, you can master anything. If you can push through the days when no one believes in you, when no one understands your vision, when no one is standing in your corner, then nothing can stop you. Because the greatest power in the world is self-reliance. Yes, the weight of solitude is heavy. Yes, it will test you. It will push you to your limits. But every time you pick yourself up, every time you fight through the silence, every time you refuse to quit, you're forging something unbreakable. And that is where greatness is born. So if you feel like you're standing alone right now, if you feel like the world has left you behind, understand this, you are not weak. You are being built. You are being refined. And when the dust settles, when the storm clears, you will not just survive, you will dominate. Because you didn't need saving, you saved yourself. There's a kind of silence that doesn't bring peace, it brings doubt. It creeps in when the phone never rings, when the messages stop coming, when the people you thought would always be there start drifting away. At first you brush it off, maybe they're just busy, maybe they'll reach out tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into months. And suddenly, you're sitting there watching the world move on while you feel stuck, frozen in time. The nights are the hardest. When the noise of the day fades and there's nothing left but your own thoughts, thoughts that whisper, do I even matter? It's a question that can break you if you let it. But let me tell you something. Silence is not a verdict. It's not proof that you are forgotten. A test of whether you will crumble under the weight of loneliness or rise in the solitude to find your own voice. I can't do this anymore. How many times have you whispered those words to yourself? How many times have you convinced yourself that you've reached your limit, that you're not strong enough, that life has pushed you too far? That's the lie. The real problem isn't that you can't. It's that you've told yourself you can't so many times that you've started believing it. And then there's the waiting game. Maybe if I wait long enough, someone will come. Someone will fix this. Someone will save me. But no one is coming. No one is going to rescue you from your own hesitation. Because here's the truth, false hope is just another way to stay stagnant. It tricks you into believing that passivity is a strategy, when in reality it's a prison. The only way out, stop waiting. Stop doubting, stand up and move. Because action is the only thing that breaks the lies. There comes a moment when you have to face a harsh but necessary truth. No one is responsible for your rescue. Not your family, not your friends, not the world. It's not because they don't care, it's because they can't. Everyone is fighting their own battles, and while you sit there waiting for someone to notice your struggle, life moves on without you. Waiting for help is like drowning in the ocean while hoping a boat will magically appear. The longer you wait, the deeper you sink. That's the cold reality. But here's the good news. Your hands, your legs, your mind, they still work. You can swim. You can fight. And the second you stop waiting, the second you accept that this is on you, something shifts. That's your turning point. That's when you stop hoping for rescue and start becoming your own lifeline. Being alone is not a punishment. It's not a curse. It's an opportunity, a test. The world makes you believe that solitude is something to fear, something to escape. But let me tell you something. The strongest warriors are not built in comfort. They are forged in solitude. Look at history. Every great leader, every champion, every innovator had moments of isolation. Moments where they were doubted. Moments where they stood alone. It wasn't the applause that shaped them. It was the silence. It was in the darkness with no one watching that they sharpened their minds, strengthened their resolve, and became something greater. And that's where you are right now. Alone. Facing yourself. This is where you either break or transform. The choice is yours. You can sit there and feel sorry for yourself, or you can use this time to grow, to evolve, to become the kind of person who doesn't need validation, who doesn't need saving, because they became their own hero. The question is, what are you going to do with this moment? Will you let it destroy you, or will you rise from it, stronger than ever? There comes a moment in life when the weight of everything crashes down on you. The pain feels unbearable, like an unrelenting storm tearing through your soul. You wake up exhausted, drained, and wondering if it's even worth it to keep fighting. You look around, hoping for a sign, hoping for someone to save you, but all you find is silence. You see, life is not about what happens to you, it's about what you do with it. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. And right now you have a decision to make. Do you let this break you? Do you let this moment define you, or do you rise? This pain, it's not here to destroy you. It's here to shape you, to wake you up, to show you what you're truly made of. You can stay broken, or you can use this as fuel, but make no mistake, this is a crossroads, and only you can decide which path you take. 4-0. The world lied to you. They told you that pain is something to avoid, something to fear. But let me tell you the truth, pain isn't the enemy. Pain is the instructor. The pain you're feeling, it's not there to break you, it's there to make you unbreakable. It's there to wake you up, to sharpen you, to force you to grow. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every setback, these aren't punishments, they're lessons. Lessons that the weak run from, but the strong embrace. Think about it. Every great champion, every success story, every person who has ever risen to greatness, what do they all have in common? Pain. They didn't run from it. They didn't let it define them. They let it refine them. So the question isn't whether or not you'll experience pain. You will. The question is, will you learn from it, or will you let it own you? Pain doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't knock on your door and wait for an invitation. It crashes into your life unannounced, unrelenting. But here's the thing. You don't control when pain arrives, but you do control what it makes of you. You can sit in the dark and cry about what's unfair, or you can use the dark to sharpen your vision. You can let hardship bury you, or you can let it build you. Every struggle is a fork in the road. One path leads to weakness, the other to strength. Which one are you taking? Adversity is either a curse or a catalyst. It depends on how you wield it. A warrior doesn't beg for easier battles, they sharpen their sword. They don't curse the storm, they learn how to navigate it. You have that same choice. Will pain break you, or will it forge you into something unstoppable? Pressure makes diamonds, fire forges steel. And suffering? Suffering builds warriors. Every great transformation in history was born out of struggle. The strongest souls didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because life tested them, pushed them, and forced them to become unbreakable. Think about it. Who inspires you? Is it the person who had everything handed to them, or the one who fought through the storm, took the hits, and kept moving forward? The ones who embrace pain rise, the ones who fear it crumble. It's that simple. Struggle isn't your enemy, it's your sculptor. It's shaping you, refining you, making you into something greater than you were before, but only if you let it. You can either resist the fire or step into it and be forged. You can either let the weight crush you or use it to build your strength. If you stay stuck in your pain, you become a prisoner of it. But if you use it, you become a master of it. Every day, you are making a choice. Whether you realize it or not, you can either let your struggles define you, trapping you in the past, or you can turn them into fuel and move forward. The people who never move, never grow. The people who stay stuck in their pain eventually become it. Regret is built on the ashes of wasted struggle. Think about that. How many people look back on their lives and wish they had taken the leap, wish they had pushed harder, wish they had broken free instead of settling for comfort? The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret, that lasts forever. There's a cost to every decision. What's the price of inaction? Because doing nothing is a decision too. And the longer you wait, the higher the price. 4-0, own your pain. Own your struggle. Because the moment you do, you take back control. Too many people wait for life to get easier. They wait for the perfect moment, the right conditions, the right mindset. But life doesn't wait. It keeps moving, whether you're ready or not. And if you don't take control of your struggle, it will take control of you. No more excuses. No more waiting. It's your fight, and it starts now. The challenges you face, they're not here to break you. They're here to build you. Every setback, every failure, every disappointment, it's all fuel. The question is, will you use it? Think about the greatest success stories. They didn't happen because life was easy. They happened because someone decided to own their struggle, to stand up, to fight back. This is your moment. Stop waiting. Take the hit. Get up. And own every part of your journey. You think successful people had someone holding their hand every step of the way? No. Every champion, every trailblazer, every person who changed the game, they all had one thing in common. They figured it out. They stopped waiting for someone to rescue them. They stopped looking around, hoping for an easy way out. They looked in the mirror and realized, if it's going to happen, it's on me. No one is coming to save you. So what are you going to do about it? The longer you wait for a lifeline, the deeper you sink. The more you depend on others to carry you, the weaker you become. Yes, you'll get advice. Yes, you'll have moments of support. But when it really matters, when you're down to your last ounce of strength, when you're on the edge of quitting, it's you versus you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you rise. 4-0, you're waiting for support. But let me tell you the truth. Real power is built in the moments when no one is cheering for you. Too many people waste time waiting for validation, waiting for encouragement, waiting for someone to say, I believe in you. But what happens when no one does? What happens when the people you expect to show up don't? Let me tell you why that's a gift. Because when you stop depending on others, you become unstoppable. When you realize that applause is just noise and success is built in the silence, you take back control. The greats didn't rise because of endless support. They rose because they moved forward when no one was watching. When no one believed, when no one cared. So stop waiting for a push. Give yourself permission. Build in the silence. Because when the world finally notices, you'll already be miles ahead. If you need someone to push you, you'll always be dependent. If you learn to push yourself, you'll always be free. Freedom isn't granted, it's taken. It's earned in the moments when you decide to take action, not because someone told you to, but because you refuse to stay where you are. The world doesn't hand out success like a gift. It rewards those who create their own momentum. Think about the greatest achievers in history. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They moved when no one was looking. They worked when no one was clapping. And that's why they won. So ask yourself, are you waiting for someone to push you? Or are you ready to take control? Because the second you stop looking for a crutch and start relying on yourself, that's the moment you become unstoppable. What if, instead of hoping for someone to show up, you became the person you've been waiting for? Too many people waste years waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right person to push them forward. But let me tell you something. The people who win in life aren't the ones who wait. They're the ones who decide. They're the ones who stop looking outward and start looking within. The moment you shift your mindset from I need someone to help me to I am the person who will help me, everything changes. The winners in life aren't the ones who had the most support, they're the ones who stopped making excuses. So what if you stopped waiting? What if you took control? What if right now you became the person you've been hoping would come and save you? Because the truth is no one is coming. But that's not bad news, that's freedom. 4-0, the second you stop blaming and start building, you become unstoppable. Too many people live their lives pointing fingers, blaming their past, their parents, the economy, their circumstances. But here's the truth. As long as you blame, you stay stuck. As long as you say, if only things were different, you give away your power. Ownership is the key. The moment you take full responsibility for where you are, without excuses, without complaints, you unlock the ability to change everything. No, it's not always fair. No, it's not always easy. But the world doesn't reward excuses, it rewards action. Look at the greats. Oprah, Elon Musk, Dwayne Johnson. They didn't sit around blaming their struggles. They owned their story. They built their way out. And so can you. No more if only thinking. No more waiting for someone else to fix it. The world bows to those who refuse to back down. Will you be one of them? 4-0. You don't need rescuing, you need to rise. Too many people wait for the right time, wait for a break, wait for someone to come along and fix their life. But let me tell you something, no one is coming to save you. No hero, no magic moment, no perfect opportunity. The only person who will change your life is you. So what will you do? Will you take control or will you keep waiting? Will you keep making excuses or will you decide right now that enough is enough? Life will test you, it will push you, but suffering is not your prison, it's your fuel. Every struggle, every setback, every moment of pain can be turned into power. The second you realize that, nothing will ever have control over you again. So rise, not tomorrow, not someday, now. The choice is yours. What will you do? 4-0, your mind is your battleground. If you don't control it, it will control you. Every battle, every challenge, every struggle is won or lost in your head before it happens in real life. Think about it. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most resilient survivors, what separates them from everyone else? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's their mindset. Your thoughts shape your actions and your actions shape your future. If you tell yourself you're weak, you'll act weak. If you convince yourself you're not good enough, you'll never try. But the second you shift your thinking, when you decide, deep down, that nothing will break you, you become unstoppable. Rewire your thoughts. Stop feeding yourself doubt, fear, and excuses. Replace them with discipline, belief, and unshakable determination, because once you win the war in your mind, nothing in the world can stand in your way. 4-0, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who decides which thoughts to believe. Every day a war is raging inside your mind. Doubts, fears, and insecurities will creep in, whispering that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not ready. But let me tell you something. Those voices only have power if you listen to them. Not every negative thought deserves your attention. You wouldn't let garbage pile up in your home, so why let toxic thoughts pile up in your mind? Train your mind like a warrior. Be ruthless about what you allow in. When self-doubt knocks, refuse to open the door. When fear creeps in, replace it with action. Mental discipline isn't about feeling confident all the time. It's about choosing to move forward even when you don't. Control your mind and you control your future. Let your thoughts serve you, not enslave you. 4-0, you will not feel motivated every day. That's why discipline is your greatest weapon. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll wake up feeling unstoppable. Other days you'll want to stay in bed and let the world pass you by. If you only move when you feel like it, you will stay stuck forever. Success doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It rewards those who show up no matter what. Look at the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders. Do you think they always felt like putting in the work? No. But they did it anyway. Winners don't negotiate with laziness. They don't sit around debating whether they should take action. They execute. They show up even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when they're exhausted. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when your emotions tell you otherwise. Feel tired? Do it anyway. Feel uninspired? Do it anyway. Feel like quitting? That's the moment you push even harder. Because every time you act despite your emotions, you strengthen your mind. And a strong mind is unstoppable. The strongest people in the world didn't have easy lives. They had scars. And they turned those scars into armor. Think about the legends we admire. Fighters, pioneers, visionaries. None of them had a smooth path. They were knocked down, rejected, underestimated. But they didn't let their struggles define them. They used every hardship, every setback, every moment of doubt as fuel. You don't rise despite your struggles. You rise because of them. Pain is a training ground. Every challenge is shaping you, sharpening you, making you stronger. When life pushes you to your knees, that's not the end, that's the test. Will you stay down or will you rise? The difference between those who succeed and those who give up isn't talent, luck, or intelligence. It's resilience. The ability to stand back up again and again, no matter how many times life tries to break you. So when you face resistance, don't run, don't break, lean in, grow through it. Because every scar you earn isn't a sign of weakness. It's proof that you endured, proof that you refuse to stay down. And in the end, the ones who refuse to break are the ones who make history. 400. Decide today. What will you no longer tolerate from yourself? What excuses will you kill forever? Because here's the truth. The world will only respect you as much as you respect yourself. If you lower the bar, the world will follow. If you allow yourself to slack, to make excuses, to cut corners, you are silently telling the world, this is all I expect of myself. You either demand greatness from yourself or settle for mediocrity. There is no middle ground. Look at the people who dominate their fields. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. They hold themselves to ruthless standards. They don't negotiate with laziness. They don't justify failures with weak excuses. They don't wait for motivation. They show up every single day and they execute. The real question is, what are you tolerating in yourself right now that's holding you back? Half-hearted effort? Procrastination? A victim mentality? It ends today. Because the day you raise your standards is the day your life starts to change. Demand more from yourself. Not just when it's easy, not just when you feel like it, but always. And watch how the world rises to meet you. 4-0, stop overthinking. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is now. How many dreams have died because someone was waiting for the perfect moment? How many ideas, businesses, and transformations never happened because someone hesitated? Let me tell you something. Perfection is a lie. It's an excuse dressed up as a high standard. It keeps you stuck, analyzing, planning, waiting, but never doing. Meanwhile, the people who win in life, they take action. They make mistakes, learn, adjust, and keep moving. They don't wait for motivation, they create momentum. Think about your future self a year from now. Will they thank you for the actions you took today? Or will they resent you for the time you wasted? Because every single day you are either building a future you're proud of or one you regret. Do something today that makes your future self proud. Send that email, make that call, start that project, go to the gym, whatever it is, stop delaying because hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. Move now, take the first step and let momentum take care of the rest. You are no longer the victim. You are the warrior. There comes a point in every person's life when they face a choice. Stay the same or rise. Stay broken or rebuild. Stay weak or become strong. That moment is now, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. The shift happens when you make the decision. When you truly decide that your past no longer defines your future. Whatever pain, mistakes, or failures you've carried with you, leave them behind. They are lessons, not chains. Weakness fades the moment you embrace your strength. And I'm not talking about physical strength. I'm talking about the strength of will, the ability to stand up after every fall, the power to say, I am not done yet. That fire inside you, it's always been there. Now it's time to use it. This is the moment everything changes. Step forward, own your life, become the warrior. You are the one who refuses to break. The one who refuses to quit. The one who refuses to be average. The old you, that person reacted to life. They waited for opportunities. They made excuses. They let fear, doubt, and hesitation dictate their choices. That version of you, it's done, it's over. The warrior in you takes control. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more hoping for change. You become the change. You move forward without hesitation, without excuses. Because average waits, but warriors act. Look around. The world is full of people settling, people waiting, people dreaming but never doing. But that's not you. Not anymore. You are here to rise. You are here to fight for the life you deserve. The question is, will you step up? Will you embrace who you must become, or will you let the old you win? A lion doesn't wait for permission to roar. A warrior doesn't wait for approval to fight. So why are you waiting? Too many people sit on the sidelines of their own lives waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to start, to chase their dreams, to become who they know they're meant to be. But let me tell you something. Greatness doesn't come with an invitation. No one is coming to hand you permission. Only weak minds need validation to rise. Warriors, they don't ask, they decide. They carve their own path, make their own rules, and push forward even when the world tells them they can't. You don't need permission to be relentless. You don't need approval to be powerful. The only question is, will you claim what's already yours, or will you keep waiting for a sign that will never come? You can keep living small, keep making excuses, keep waiting, or you can step into your power. Every single day you are presented with a choice. Stay where you are, comfortable in your mediocrity, or take the leap and evolve into the strongest version of yourself. What's holding you back? Fear? Doubt? The fear of failure? Let me tell you something. Every time you let fear dictate your life, you are handing away your power. But you know what? That's your choice. It's your choice whether to let fear control you or whether you're going to take command of your life, your actions, your destiny. And if you want change, if you want greatness, you must choose now. No more waiting for the perfect time. That time is now. The fire inside you is greater than the storm around you. The world will test you. Life will throw obstacles in your path. People will doubt you. But none of that matters if your fire burns strong enough. No challenge, no setback, no adversity is stronger than your determination. History has proven this over and over again. Think of the greats. Michael Jordan cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey told she wasn't fit for television. Thomas Edison failing 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. What kept them going? The fire within. When everything feels impossible, when the weight of failure presses down on you, that fire is what pushes you forward. But here's the truth. No one can light that fire for you. You have to stoke the flames. You have to refuse to quit. Because in the end, it's not the storm that defines you, it's how brightly you burn through it. 4-0, stand up. Walk forward. Because no matter how alone you feel, you are unstoppable. A warrior doesn't hesitate. A warrior doesn't second guess. A warrior doesn't wait for permission. They move with purpose. They step forward even when fear whispers in their ear. And so must you. How many times have you held yourself back because of doubt? How many opportunities have you let slip away waiting until you felt ready? Let me tell you something. Readiness is a lie. If you wait for perfect confidence, you'll be waiting forever. You are already built for this. Every challenge you've survived, every hardship you've endured, those weren't setbacks, they were training, proof that you are strong enough, capable enough. But none of that matters if you refuse to act. So today, make a decision. Drop the hesitation, stop looking for validation, walk like a warrior, because you were never meant to crawl. 4-0, now is the moment you change your life. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. There comes a time when you have to decide, are you all in? Or are you going to keep tiptoeing around your potential? You didn't come this far just to turn back. You've put in the effort, you've fought through the doubts, and now you stand at the edge of something great. But hesitation is the enemy. Think about it. How many dreams have died because someone said, I'll start tomorrow? How many goals have faded away because someone was waiting for the right moment? Let me tell you something. Waiting is the death of progress. You don't get this moment back. This is your time to push forward, to take the lead, to commit like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. So ask yourself, will you keep waiting or will you step up? Because there's no turning back now. The only way is forward. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more excuses. Excuses are the chains that keep you stuck. They are the lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable, to avoid the hard truth that success requires sacrifice. But let me ask you, how much longer are you willing to stay in the same place? How much longer will you let fear decide your future? You say you don't have time, make time. You say you're too tired, push through. You say you don't know where to start, just start. Every excuse you hold on to is another brick in the wall between you and your goals. You want freedom, you want success, then break that wall down. One action at a time. The only way forward is through fear, through pain, through resistance. The people who win in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who refuse to quit. So here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. This is your fight, your responsibility, your moment. Stop talking about what you're going to do, start doing it. Because the clock is ticking and the world doesn't wait for those who make excuses. You are the author of this story. And today you write a new chapter. Not yesterday, not last week, not the failures of your past. Right now. Question is, what kind of story will it be? One of regret, of missed chances, of dreams left on the shelf? Or will it be a story of relentless pursuit? A story where you rise, where you fight, where you refuse to be anything less than your full potential. No one else is coming to write this for you. No one is going to hand you the ending you want. This is your responsibility, your mission, your fight. Think about it. Every great story has struggle. Every hero faces obstacles. But what separates those who succeed from those who fade away is a choice. The choice to keep going, to push through the fear, to rewrite the script when life tries to hand them a weak storyline. So take the pen, take control. Because 5 years from now, you'll either be reading back a story you're proud of or one filled with excuses. And the choice? That's entirely up to you. 4-0, it will not be easy. It will not be comfortable. But nothing worth having ever is. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has paid a price. Sacrifice, discipline, unrelenting effort, the late nights, the early mornings, the failures, the doubts, the moments where quitting seemed like the only option. But let me tell you something. Pain is temporary, growth is permanent. When you push through discomfort, you don't just build skill, you build resilience. You train your mind to endure, to adapt, to overcome. Every drop of sweat, every moment of struggle, it's not a reason to stop. It's proof that you're on the right path. Look at the legends. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team. He could have quit. Instead, he trained harder. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. She could have given up. Instead, she became a media powerhouse. The difference? They were willing to pay the price. So ask yourself, are you? Because greatness doesn't come with discounts, it demands full price. And the only question that matters is, will you step up and pay it? 4-0 it, let me tell you something. You are stronger than you think, you are braver than you believe, and you are capable of more than you ever imagined. But the only way you'll ever realize that is by facing the truth. Life is tough, but so are you. The only limits you have are the ones you refuse to break. Every obstacle in front of you is not a stop sign. It's a test of your will, your discipline, your hunger. Too many people talk themselves out of greatness before they even try. They say, I can't. They say it's too hard. But what if you stopped making excuses and started making moves? Think about the times you felt broken. The moments when life hit you so hard you thought you couldn't get back up. But you did. Maybe you crawled, maybe you limped, but you moved forward. That is proof of your strength. Every battle, every hardship, every moment of doubt, it was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to reveal you. So here's the truth. You are built to overcome. You are wired for resilience, but only if you choose to see it. The question isn't whether you have the strength, the question is whether you'll use it. Will you rise or will you retreat? That choice is yours. No one is coming to save you. No hero is going to swoop in at the last second. No magic moment will change your life for you. And you know what? That's a good thing, because you don't need saving. You've always had the power. Every step forward, every decision, every fight you've endured, it was never because of someone else. It was you. It was always you. The problem is, too many people spend their lives waiting for motivation, for permission, for some miracle to tell them it's time. But what if I told you that you are the miracle? Think about it. Every great success story, every leader, every champion, every legend, they didn't wait. They took action. They embraced the struggle. They understood that no one was coming to make things easy, and so they became unstoppable. That same fire burns inside you, but only if you stop looking for an exit and start owning your path. This is not the end. This is just the beginning of your legacy. The moment you accept that no one is responsible for your success but you, everything changes. No more excuses. No more hesitation. It's time to step up, take control, and forge the life you were meant to live. Because warriors don't wait, they rise.